All right, this is King Dav. We're here. I'm here with a couple of friends, ZmAKin, Bunzaga, and we're going to be talking about Champions Ascension. Now, see, I apologize for the background noise, but we're going to just keep it moving. I'm over here in Michigan. Sounds like a yard tool or a tractor or a four wheeler. They bring that to the city too. But anyway, we're here. King Dav, Bunzaga, ZmAKin. We're talking about Champions Ascension. For those that don't know, probably a lot of people do. AAA game uh, made by Jam City, AAA gaming studio. And I think we're going to get into a lot of that. What I want to talk about is back way up and talk about the reasons why some of us are bullish. Now, I'm here with, like I said, Bunzaga, ZmAKin. How you guys doing today?
Hey, doing good.
Doing great over here, man.
Bunzaga, ZmAKin, thanks. Yep, good for us to get together. I think this is the first time I'm talking out loud about this game, besides just typing on the Discord, to somebody else. I mean, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. And I'm digging it. What do you guys? How's that going for you guys in your world?
Yeah, we've had a couple guild conversations about the last AMA and some other things with the death gang. But aside from that, yeah,
ZmAKin, you
Yeah.
ducked into? Is that correct?
Yeah, Bunzaga and I were Death Gang over here, so we definitely have talked before. After not the most previous AMA on the Insights, but the AMA before that, we had a whole Death Gang chat, and then I was also lucky enough to rip Jam City apart when they put out their after mint survey, and they wanted to do a Zoom interview with me. So I got to talk to one of the content managers and community managers from Jam City earlier this week, and I've got another Zoom meeting scheduled with the same guy on some other stuff that Jam
That's
City's
nice.
working on for this upcoming week. So a little bit of
For this
talking
game,
about it.
nice for just for this game though. While you're on
The
that subject, when talking about them building something out for Champions Ascension.
They specifically said it was from another studio, so I get the
Oh,
inclination that it's not going to be for Champions Ascension, probably for something else that Jam City's looking at putting together. But I will
which is
keep you
cool.
guys updated.
Yeah. Oh, look, I just had to throw that question real quick before I lost it. But that's so you're one of the people that did the interview because that's what the last AMA was about. Was the folks that are recording or taking the questions and kind of analyzing the data. So you did the interview. How did that go? They were listening. Felt good.
Yeah, yeah, I did the
Okay.
interview. I mean, they asked about it was a lot to do with like the mint and the overall feeling of the project so far. But
Yeah,
the guy that I
I could
dealt with,
speak to that. It's
yeah, the
because
guy that
because
I dealt
I
with,
did that. Well,
you did
well,
the
go ahead.
survey or?
I did the survey and I felt just filling the survey out, I felt a little bit heard just doing that. So I'd imagine if you express what a lot of us did, like how they kind of dropped the ball on the minting. If you told them a little bit of that and they're listening, that's good.
Oh, I definitely did not use so polite of terms as drop the ball.
Even
That's
better.
why I was extremely surprised after, like I said, I ripped them a new one in that and did not hold back at all. So when they reached out to me that they wanted to do a Zoom interview or meeting, I was very highly surprised. So it was nice though because they let me actually explain the whole process that I went through because I did the open seas during the whitelist because I kind of got screwed in trying to jump in the whitelist, which I got at the last moment. And then I
Mhm.
also bought one on public mint. I was one of the first 600 to buy on public mint as well. So I went
Oh,
through,
for the champion, the extra champion.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
set my. I freaking had to wake up and set my alarm at like 2:30 in the morning to try and get one at the price that I thought it was gonna start selling
Wait,
for.
I have a
So
lot of thoughts on how they could have did the Dutch auction differently. I know a lot of us do, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Maybe we'll get into that today or next time. But yeah, I think even if when they do it again, I think that they're going to roll that out a lot better. Um, so look, I want to ask, I want to back all the way up and talk about the game. Champions Ascension. This, to me, it seems like this is a game that's bringing everything together in one point. And we're talking about the Web3, we're talking about NFTs, blockchain, and we're talking about gaming, right? So it's if you already
That's
have
why
a
I'm
lot
here.
of folks,
I'm here for the gaming.
yes, and you're here for the gaming. I'll tell you real quick about me. I've invested a little bit into crypto since 2017, but I didn't have a lot of money to put in, right? I'm not, I'm from humble origins, and $5,000 put in Bitcoin in 2017, I would have, right? But I didn't. I had about $20 or $30. That's kind of where I started in crypto. Of course, I played games like everybody else, but I followed this down to the NFT path, the Ethereum path, the NFT path, all the altcoins, making a little bit of, returns here and there. And then really just seeing that gaming and Web3 and NFTs all are coming to a head. That's what brought me to this game. Now, with all that said, I want to ask you two, like, how did you, Bunzaga, I think you just said it, you like gaming. You're into gaming. And I think I heard in one of your YouTube video shows, too, that the gaming is what brought you to this. So go ahead, talk more about that. Yeah. What are your thoughts about this, and what are your thoughts even about the Web3 in general?
Well, yeah, to be honest, this is my first exposure to NFTs, and I didn't even know. I mean, I had to look up what an NFT was. I had no idea, and I had to look up what Web3 meant. Like I said, I'm passionately here about helping to make, as a community, helping to make like the best multiplayer game we can.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
and you know what? Yeah, and not to even cut you off there, but that really just gets me excited because the fact that you're deep into this because you know about the development of games and you actually do that for work. Like you have a technical expertise in that. And the fact that I'm here from the whole other side of, of course, while enjoying games, and look, tell you what, I mastered a lot of games like growing up, but really being in here, just knowing the potential of the new Web3 space and the fact that it can bring someone like you together to make a good game with the whole community, that gets me really excited, energized about this game.
Yeah, me
ZmAKin, ZmAKin, what do you think? Like, how did you find out about the game and like kind of what brought you here?
So in the shortest terms, roundabout way that got me here was Axie Infinity. I've always been a gamer since I was probably like 5 years old, and that's 30 years ago now for me. So gaming has been my life. I got 2 kids that I turned into gamers that the woman's not the happiest about, and I kind of segued from consoles into mobile gaming, and then I found the crypto world, right? And it was like, well, I can continue gaming, or I can try and figure out this game that's going to make me money. So I delved somewhat deep into the crypto when I got introduced to it just, last year, no more than like 8-9 months ago. And
so you're kind of like a mix between the two then, a gamer and an NFT.
Yeah, because crypto was the first thing that I got introduced to, right? And so after I found crypto, I was like, I stopped really playing mobile games. I was like, how can I combine both my love of gaming and the ability to make money, right? So I started just Google searching ways to do it, and I found play-to-earn games. And obviously, one of the biggest was Axie Infinity, right? So I started really looking into Axie Infinity for like a couple weeks, and it was right about the time where they, SLP was down around a penny, sub penny, and I'm looking at all these videos like, man, this used to be like 20 plus cents per coin, and it dropped 20 times its value, right? And looking at Axies, and I'm like, okay, I could probably put together a team for like, 0.3 to 0.4 ETH, and I'm like, that's ridiculously expensive to get into a game, which is funny in retrospect.
Yeah.
So looking at that, I'm like, well, what are other games that I can, play? Because this one's obviously kind of on the tail end of its. I missed this opportunity, it seems like, right? So
Yep.
without getting into Axie, I'm looking up other games, and I'm looking up the top lists of games coming out, what's going to be hitting big, and the one that I seemed to find on every single list that I looked at was Champions Ascension. So I
With
actually,
games and earning.
yeah, the potential for AAA blockchain game, play to earn, and the art is really what threw it off for me. So
Yep.
I made my very first Discord account and jumped in Champions Ascension very first and foremost, and now I hold 2 primes. So spent a little bit
Nice.
more than the 0.3 ETH that I would have liked to on Axie, but it's looking like it's going to be worth it in my mind. So
Yeah. Also, real
Definitely.
quick, an Axie 0.3 ETH. Is that the cost?
no, so you have to have
Okay.
3 Axies to be able to play at all, right? And so
Okay.
I was doing research, and a team that I thought would possibly get me wins, which meant more money, was going to cost me around 0.3 ETH at the time to put together.
Okay. I see. Wonderful. Yeah, Bunzaga, did you have something?
Oh, nope. I was just saying that, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's an investment.
Right. Oh, yeah, it
Champions
is.
Ascension. Yeah.
Again, which is kind of what brought me here, right? Plus the game. And so I'm wondering, like, just off of that, did you ever imagine growing up playing video games, and I never did, that it could be, first of all, a profession, first of all, with the major leagues and gaming and all that, and then also with just earning while you play, and that thing I still can't really wrap my mind around, but that's what I'm here for. Did you ever imagine that as a kid, that it was possible?
No, I was always under the impression that playing games was a waste of time. At least that's what my parents always told me.
They were wrong, right? I'm like, what? I could have just kept playing.
Well, and that's what made me decide to become a programmer. Was like ZmAKin, I loved playing games, and I was trying to figure out how can I make money, in this field, and I was just really good at math and logic, and so learned how to program.
Right. And then I was even seeing that they're hiring in the last AMA. They're talking about that they're hiring game testers. I'm like, what a dream job that I was thinking about when I was about 10, 11 years old. Could have stuck with it and been a game tester.
Yeah, I don't know how
So,
dream of a job that would be. I was actually the one who asked that question because I used to do beta testing for Microsoft, because Microsoft is in Redmond, which for me, being about 30 miles south of Seattle, that was a 45-minute drive. And back when I played a lot more on my consoles, they would call me in, and I would go in once a month and do testing for games that were not quite released yet. Sometimes it was games that they had just dropped, and sometimes it was games that they were still completely in development mode of. And it was awesome to be able to go and do that. But talking to the people that were there, they're like, you guys get a really finished product, whereas when you're doing a paid game tester, you're literally playing for 8 hours of the day. You could be playing the same level over and over and over again just to try and suss out any of the bugs, glitches, or any of that type of stuff that you have to find that. So it's really hard to compare.
tedious.
Yeah, it's repetitive.
For fun to gaming for pay, right?
Especially
so it's kind of you don't want to do one of those things that you love for a job and turn it into something that you despise, right?
Right. And so with this, so I have some of the similar story. I think ZmAKin, you just said it. I built my or made the Discord, my own Discord, just for this game, really, and the YouTube channel too. But just for this game, I'm learning Discord right now as I'm coming in here. I'm not a lot aware of how Discord works. I'm not aware of like the gaming scene. But you did mention Axie Infinity. I'm wondering like what kind of similarities you see from Axie Infinity to this game, Champions Ascension, and then kind of what type of economic or breeding advantages you think will carry over. What do you think?
Can you repeat that? I got my girlfriend over here trying to bug me while I'm listening to you.
So the quick version is like with Axie Infinity, how do you think it compares to Champions Ascension? And then what types of tips or learnings from breeding or some of the economic aspects you think will carry over to this game, to Champions Ascension?
Well, I mean, so just on the facade of everything, you got the art difference, and Axie Infinity is that's like third grade art compared to some Da Vinci stuff that we got going on.
When it comes to breeding and all that, do you see the similarities that Champions Ascension can learn from? What are you thinking?
I think they specifically are trying to avoid all of the things that Axie Infinity did with their breeding, especially the overbreeding. And I think just like I didn't get into Axie Infinity to actually do any of this stuff, but just seeing what's on there, like, you have to pay money to breed, plus you also have to pay this other token, which has an actual value to be able to breed, and then you get a random generated one that could be, some of the same class stuff from what you have of your breeders, right? Whereas Champions Ascension, from what we've heard so far, you'll need 2 champions. It sounds like they could be of differing levels, and even then, they said you may not have a successful breed, right? So even taking 2 primes, you may try to breed them and get nothing, or get a grunt, or you could get anywhere between that and an ascended champion. So I think that there's a lot higher range of possibilities with your primes breeding. It's going to come down to, though, if they're going to have a limit on breeds per NFT, kind of how Axie has a max breed limit of 7, right? If they don't, I think that's going to be completely opposite of what they're saying with wanting to prevent overbreeding, because if there's no limit, you essentially can just mint NFTs to your heart's desire until you get something that you think is valuable enough to sell. And then they're going to have a complete flood of the market. But it sounds like they're taking and putting mechanisms in the game to help prevent that.
Right.
I could see having some kind of a cooldown timer or something. Like you can
after between breeds.
Yeah, like a 24-hour, or I don't know what's a normal time period, but like a week between breeding or something.
Yeah.
Well, they also said there's going to be a time frame for breeding as well. So I mean, I know for me personally, it's ranged in the minutes of times, but you never know what could happen with these primes. They might be able to go all night.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking Bunzaga, or even you again, ZmAKin, is like any other games that you've had experience with, Web3 or NFT games or play to earn games, that you think you can take some learnings into this one, or that will compare to this one?
I don't personally. This is my first time.
Okay.
Yep,
into
same
the
here.
Web3
This
gaming.
is my first actual NFT that I've ever owned, to tell you the truth.
Nice. I traded some in December. I bought a couple different ones in December, real low price, just to see how, just to get used to OpenSea and the MetaMask world and all that, the NFTs. Really getting ready for something like this, because I knew I was going to find a project that was just big, ready to explode. And so then I, got that experience and then moved it all over here. Okay, I think, for a first episode, I think this is good. I'd like to keep this chat going. So ZmAKin, Bunzaga, let's do this again anytime. I'd invite more people out too, so we can just have a big old party and just talk about what's going on. When we learn things new, and then I'll probably just ask some more questions about some overall perspective in gaming, and then maybe the blockchain. So
Awesome.
with that said, thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Definitely look forward to it, King Dove.